Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Jenny and I post anything from vlogs to hauls, and today I'm actually going to be trying a new type of content. Today I'm going to be talking about my favorite C-dramas for the year of 2024. Not necessarily C-dramas that did come out in 2024, but C-dramas that I did watch in 2024. So I'm actually really excited. This is actually going to be a new episode of my series called Genny Yaps. This is the first episode. So this is just going to be like something that I'm going to be doing. So I will be posting just like videos of talking in between my regular vlogs or hauls. So I'm really excited for this and I hope y'all like it, because I'm also really excited for this. To be honest, I know that when people do these videos, they try to stay spoiler free, but like I cannot stay spoiler free. Like I love saying spoilers way too much. So if you do not like spoilers, this is not the video for you. But I will tell you though, like some of the spoilers are like really heavy deal breakers. Like there's some things that I really like, but there's some things I really don't like, and it's like those spoilers are like the really heavy deal breakers. So like I'm gonna be honest with y'all. So that's just me. Like I said before, quick disclaimer, these are shows that I watched in 2024. That does not necessarily mean that they came out in 2024. Most did, but if you see a show and you're like, hey, that's from 2022. Okay, so let's get started. I'm gonna start with my bottom 3. I didn't watch as many C-dramas this year, so I decided not to do a bottom 5. But I did do a bottom 3, so we're gonna start with the bottom 3. So the first one on the list is Kill Me Love Me. I rated this a 6.5 out of 10, and I just made some notes about this. She was such a badass in the beginning, and I loved like the revenge plot. Like what got me back into dramas after like a whole 1-year slump was the glory. So I am a sucker for revenge plots. Anything that has to do with that, I'm obsessed with it. So when I saw this, I was like, oh my god, Wu Jing Yan and a revenge plot, I'm there. But it just, yeah, she was a badass in the beginning. I loved the revenge plot, and I also liked that it was slow burn. And I also loved Luo Mei, which was like another, I think she was like the second female lead, and she was also like a really independent badass. Like she was a general, like she was really eating. But then what I hated about the show, I hated that there was like this whole plot where the crown prince was trying to kill the female lead, that's Mei Lin, and the male lead, that's Murong Jing He, and the crown prince was trying to kill them, and then so they ended up trying to like escape through the woods, and after 2 days in the woods they fell in love. Okay, I was just like it was really weird. I also did not like the forced romantic scenes. Like I remember them, like after the whole thing about being in the woods, they went to this like little village, and I remember while they were there, they were like having these like atrocious forced romantic scenes. I was like, oh my god, it was so bad that even after they left the village and maybe they would like break up, they would like do these like flashbacks to those exact same scenes. Like they were literally wearing the exact same clothes. I was like, there has to be more. Like they had way more like romantic scenes that had even better chemistry before the whole like village whatever, and I was like, y'all couldn't find more. Another thing I also hated was like the whole love romantic thing between the king and Zigu. She was a kid. I think she was a teenager, and it just felt so off. Like at first the king was like really empathetic towards her, because he was like, oh my god, she's really young, she's probably a teenager, like I'm probably gonna die soon. When she dies, like send her back home so she can marry someone her age. And then it went from that to like, actually I love her, and I was like,
that's the sound of the police.
oh no, it was just really weird. I didn't like it. And like Luo Mei, like I said, she was such a badass in the beginning, and then she really liked Murong Jing He, but he was like, no, I don't like you, I like Mei Lin, which is fine. But then she was like, okay, so he doesn't like me, but the crown prince likes me. But the crown prince was a terrible person. So I was like, girl, I know you're not about to be with him. No, she stayed with him. She was like, no, like he likes me, so I have to like him back. No, you don't. Like you don't have to like him back. But she felt like she had to like him back just because he liked her, and I'm like, that's it. But I didn't like that. I also did not like there was this whole thing about Mei Lin faking her death. She faked her death only to like live a new life in the town, and I was like, what? Why? Like, she was literally caught in 2 days. She decided to fake her death, and she decided to go to the town to avoid the male lead, who was the governor of the town. He found her in 2 days. Like, she was literally exposed in 2 days. And so I was just like, this is a waste of time. We're dragging the plot. This shit should have been over 3 episodes ago, 5 episodes ago. No, I didn't like it. I also hated that the villain died way too early. Like, because he died, the show was just like bland for a while till it ended. And I also hate how like the female lead, literally Malin, went from being like a really cool independent girly to being like a damsel in distress, even at the most important moments when we really needed her. Like, there's no way she was like, yeah, I'm an assassin, rah. And then last minute she's like, actually I'm not. I mean, that's like her, like that's so baby girl, but like that's that's like not her character. So it was so weird. And the last thing I actually hated about this show is I hated how they used like a sad ending to try to make it seem like they were gonna make up for the terrible plot. Like, I'm all for sad endings. Like, I'm just gonna put that right out. Like, I love sad endings. Like, I feel like they're so emotional, especially when they do the flashbacks and you get to see like all the memories that you spent with them. It's actually something that I really like. But if I hated the entire show and I'm just waiting for it to be over and y'all couldn't even give me like a decent ending, you're like, oh yeah, she died, I don't feel any emotion. I'm just like, okay. I'm just like, okay. So like, that was one thing I absolutely hated about the show. Like, honestly, this show, now that I'm thinking about it, it low-key deserves a lower rating. Like, it was so bad. Like, I remember like watching this, I was so excited because I thought it was gonna be like the double 2.0, but I guess that was like their mistake. They used the same actress and then they used the same like kind of revenge plot where they're like, oh yeah, she's gonna get revenge, and it's Wu Jinyan. So maybe that's where like they missed the mark because we're trying to compare it to the double. But like, even on its own, it's a terrible show. So yeah, that was Kill Me Love Me. Would not recommend, honestly. The second show that I did not like this year was The Story of Pearl Girl. I feel like people are gonna jump me because I posted a TikTok about how I was just waiting for it to end so I could rate it a 4 out of 10. I ended up giving it a 5. Ended up giving it a 5 out of pity, but it doesn't make the show any better at all. Like, not even the slightest. What I didn't like about the show is I love that the female lead was really independent. Like, she was a businesswoman, she was business savvy, like she wanted to build her own empire. Like, I love that about her. I also really liked the cinematography, and I also liked this other character. Her name was Sui Shijiu. That was like her name like when she was a man, but then when she like started like dressing more feminine, her name was Zhuohua. And I loved like her struggle with her identity as a woman, because she was in a family where she was the only daughter and she felt like her father always like prioritized her brothers because they were the ones who could carry on the family name and they were the ones who could do this and do that. And so she always felt like she had to dress like a man to like be able to do business and all this stuff. So I really love seeing like her struggle with her identity, because it's like, it's really relatable, honestly. So I really like that, and I really wish she was the female lead. But like, I love Jalousie, don't get me wrong, but I just felt like her story was a little bit more interesting. I also like that Liu Yuning was playing a role. Like, he is my favorite artist in terms of like Chinese OSTs. Like, he's my favorite artist. I would have never guessed he was an actor. I remember seeing him in the trailer. I was like, I've seen this man before. I've seen this man before. And I searched up his name and like, he was on my Spotify rap. He was on my Spotify rap. Like, my favorite song of his is Liu Li, which is like the intro for Love and Redemption. And I was so shocked to see that he was an actor. So I was like, I'm excited, I'm sapped for this show. But it ended up being such a disappointment for me, so I'm gonna tell you what I disliked. So what I disliked was I hated that the male lead, his name was Yan Zijing. I hate that he was putting the female lead, her name was Banwu. He was putting her in situations that could have easily gone wrong. He would like plan these really elaborate plans and be like, oh yeah, I'm doing it to protect you. But like, it could have gone so wrong so quick. I remember there was this one scene where she was supposed to like sell some jewelry to this like really big businessman, and she was talking all bull. She was like, yeah, we got the jewelry, we got the goods. And she was holding like a chest with like, that was supposed to be filled with pearls and diamonds and gold and everything. And then she opens it, pebbles. my heart dropped because like I was like, how is she gonna get out of the situation? And then everything ended up being fine. But then the thing was that the dude was just like, oh yeah, like I already knew that was gonna happen. Like I already calculated it. Why didn't you tell her? Maybe if you had told her, she wouldn't be so like anxious. But he did not say. When I catch that man, like I did not like him at all, to be honest. I didn't really like the business terminologies. Like I'm really not a business girly at all. Like I find it really boring. I don't know what dividends is. I don't know what a guild is. Like I don't know none of that. So I thought that was kind of boring. I also didn't like the sad ending. I don't know, like I said before, like if you're gonna make a show that's bad, at least give us like a decent ending so we can be like, oh, at least they ended up together. Like, what do you mean he was gonna die? What do you mean he didn't get the antidote? And that's the thing, even in like the other show, like Kill Me Love Me, that's the same trope. Like, oh yeah, he's sick, we couldn't find the antidote. Oh, we were so close to the antidote, we didn't get it. I'm like, can they die in other ways? Like I remember when men used to go to war and just die, and then that would be the end of the show. But now it's like the same thing. It's the antidote. It's the antidote. I'm like, aren't you tired? Come up with something new. But that was what I didn't like about the story of Pergo. And also something I didn't like that I might address later was the use of AI for the intro. Honestly, like that whole show was just not it. Okay, so the third one is Lost You Forever. And I know y'all are gonna come for me because like technically I did rate the show an 8 out of 10. But okay, so Lost You Forever, I watched only the first part. People might come for me and be like, why did you only watch the first part? You should have watched both. The season 2 was better. I don't think the season 2 was better because I saw the reviews. It was an 8.2 on my drama list. So like I know it was not good. Like anything less than an 8.5 for me on my drama list is a no-go. And it was an 8.2. The first part was an 8.6, so I knew the part 2 was not going to be that good. But I did watch the part 1, and even though I rated it an 8 out of 10, there were so many things I hated about the show that like it pissed me off. I didn't even want to finish it at one point. I just kept going because of Shangliu, which was like my favorite character. That was like the only reason why I ended up like finishing the show. But I will tell you what I liked. I loved that there were multiple male leads. Oh my god, when I tell you it was giving, what do you call it? If it's a love triangle, it's a love pentagon. Like we had options. Like I loved it. And I also love that the female lead was also really badass and independent, at least in the beginning. That's like the issue. They always are in the beginning and then somewhere along the line they just forget everything. But she was really like badass, independent in the beginning. She was like a physician. She was like living independently, had to dress up as a man because you know how society be when women living alone. So she had to like dress up as a man. She was like the physician for the village where she was staying at. And you know, she was just being herself. And then I also really liked Shang Liu. He was like he was the third male lead, but in my heart, he was number one. He was number one. I love that man. Like, did he have his red flag moments? Yes, but what can I say? He was so fine. Like I loved him. But that was what I liked about the show. And then what I disliked, I did not like the first male lead. Like, I don't know, what was his name? Tushan Jing? I don't know, like I was really excited for him because his actor was like, he was one of the actors in Till the End of the Moon. Never finished that show, but I was really excited because even with the few episodes that I did watch, I really liked his character. So I was like, oh my god, I'm so excited to watch him here. He was terrible. Like he was so weak. I've never seen anyone more weaker than him. Like I know sometimes I'm always like, oh, I hate the weak female lead. You know what I hate even more? The weak male lead. Oh my god, it was so bad. Like he would always make these promises. That was the thing. Like, if you want to be weak, just accept that you're, you know, you're a baby girl and you don't want to do nothing. But coming out and being like, oh my god, I promise I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and then not doing anything because your grandma said so. Because your grandma told you not to do it. It's really embarrassing because he's not a kid. He was like 20s, like let me just say 25. And you're like, oh, actually I can't do this because of my grandma. I want better for female lead. I want better for Xiao Yao because what was that? But I didn't like him. He could not stand up for himself. I also didn't really like the second. Actually, no, I liked the second male lead. He was really like, I loved him. Like he just had this aura about him that was just like chef's kiss. My only issue with him was that why was he a love interest when he was her cousin? I don't know. Like okay, fine. They were like, oh yeah, they were raised together as siblings. biologically cousins, and then they grow up and they're like, actually, we're not cousins, we're not even blood related. Okay, that's fine. So why are you in love with me now? I'm so sorry. Like no, no. I did not support that at all. Like apart from that, he was really chill. Like I liked him. Like I also really liked the actor. I wanted to watch him in this other show called Are You the One? I started the first two.
Oh my god, what is that?
Anyways, I started the first two episodes and it wasn't that bad. I might finish it to be honest. Like Feng Long was he was interesting. I think what I wrote in my notes was that I said that they added him as kind of like the lead for just for like they added him as the fourth lead just for the effect of like, oh my god, like there's four male leads. But like he actually was useless. I don't know. Maybe in part one he was useless and in part two he ended up being way more useful. But for part one he was useless and he was annoying too. Like he would be so childish and just like so annoying. And then when it was time for war and politics, he'd be like, yeah. And then after that he's like, and I'm like, why does he switch from 5 to 40 like I can't snap, but like he switched so fast and I was like, what even is going on? I did not like him that much to be honest. And then the female Li Xiaoyao, like I didn't even have any issues with her. I love Yang Zi so much, like so I was really excited to watch her. And then she goes from like being like this independent girl boss to like the supporting character. Oh my god, I remember like she was like the princess, right? And she just like left and was like this independent girl. She was living on her own. She was a doctor. She was just doing her own thing. And then her cousin was like, hey, can you come back? Because I'm trying to take over the crown, but my grandfather doesn't want to give it to me. But you know, you can help me out because you technically have some power because you're a princess. And she was like, I don't want to leave my independent life. And she was like, please. And she was like, okay, fine. She comes back. He goes to the palace. They didn't want to let him in. They were like, no, we're not going to let you in. We're not going to let you in. And she's like, you're not going to let my cousin in? Whew. You see, the power, it exudes. I was like, oh my god, yes, girl, this show is about to get started. She goes into the palace. She gets him into the palace. She's like, go meet grandpa. He meets grandpa. And that was it. Scene. Till the end of the show. After that, she just became so like dormant. I don't know, what do you call that word? She was hibernating. She wasn't doing anything. I remember like the reason why she came back was because she wanted to be a part of the whole plan of like, oh, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, we're gonna make you get the trauma and stuff. And then she there was this one scene that pissed me off. They were all hanging out. It was like Sang Xuan, Feng Long's sister, I can't remember her name, and then Xiao Yao. The four of them were just like chilling. And then after a while, Feng Long and Sang Xuan are like, okay, yeah, we need to talk about like issues because, you know, politics. And then Xiao Yao was like, okay, we'll just leave them in. You said what? You're leaving? Why are you leaving? You're part of the plan. Like that's the whole reason why you came back. Remember she was also a doctor. Like there were some scenes where she would just be mixing random medicines and it'd be like, oh, you know, you're mixing medicine, and she's like, yeah, and she's just mixing and she's not even doing anything with it. And I was like, this show had so much potential, but like what even is going on? Like I'm even shocked I finished the show personally, but like I said, I literally only finished it for Shang Liu. Like he was so fine, but he wasn't enough to make me watch season 2. And the gap between season 2 was so wide. Like I watched the first part in the beginning of 2024, and then the second half came out, I don't remember when, but it was like I think a month or 2 months ago. And I was like watching the first episode and I was like, what even happened? Like how did the show even end? Like I don't even know what's going on. I was lost and I was not about to put myself through hell to watch the show again. So yeah, but yeah, those were my bottom 3 cdramas. Like I love talking about like bad shows low-key, so I was really excited to talk about them. But now we're gonna talk about my top 5 because these shows, they restored my faith in C-dramas this year. I'm not even gonna lie. Would I say the top 5 is ranked? I think I would say so. Yeah, the top 5 is ranked. So should I start from the bottom? Actually, yeah, I will start from the bottom. Let me start from my number 5, which was The Double. So The Double, I rated The Double a 9 out of 10. And honestly, I didn't have much to say about this because when I first watched the show, I was really excited and I forgot to write down my thoughts about the show, and because of that, I can barely remember anything that happened. My fault. But this is what I remembered. I loved the revenge plot. Like, I love how like the revenge started from the beginning and then down to the end. Like, I've noticed that sometimes when I watch revenge plots, like they'll be like, oh yeah, we're getting revenge, and there's some way along the line you just like forget about the revenge. I'm like, girl, this is not why I wanted to watch the show. Like, but I like that, you know, the revenge stayed till the end. I also like she didn't like soften up and become like weak in the middle, because like, you know how sometimes it'd be like, wait, actually, aren't I like a bad person for doing this? No, you're not. She killed your dad. No, you're not. He killed your mom. Like, there's just like, you cannot just like be weak midway. So I love how she was like, oh no, y'all are gonna get it, because why would you steal my man and why would you try to kill me? Like, she went all in and I loved it. I also loved Duke's. You're gonna hear this a lot from me from now on, but Duke Soo, he had that provider mindset. Yeah, the provider mindset, and I loved I loved his relationship with his cape. It was so cute. But like I said, like I loved him. Like I loved how he was like always there for her, always supporting her, because he was like, damn, you went through a lot. I'm gonna help you. And yeah, that's what he did. I like that. What I didn't like about the show, I just didn't like how Duxu was always in the corner. Like anytime Junglee was always like in a pickle, he would just come out of nowhere. And I remember sometimes I'll be watching, I will be like, oh, Duxu, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? Like, I love that he's always there to help her when she's like in the pickle, but like this is her revenge. And like if she's gonna make a plan and not like be thorough because she knows you're gonna pop out of the bush, like it just, I don't know, like it just doesn't make any sense anymore. I don't know, that's just me though. Like I just didn't like that. Like I said, one thing about being an independent baddie, like you sometimes gotta do stuff yourself. So that's one thing I didn't like, but it wasn't that bad. It wasn't like something that like pissed me off overly, but it was enough to dock 1 point. So, but it wasn't that bad, honestly. Like I liked it and I gave it a 9 out of 10. Will I rewatch it? Probably I will, just to refresh my memory about it, because like I feel like my memory is very like blurred about it. The only reason why I remember some parts is because of TikTok edits. So I'm actually really excited to rewatch it again. So for my fourth favorite C-drama this year, this like I said, not all the shows came out from 2024. So this one actually came out in 2022. I remember it really vividly because I watched the first episode around the time I was graduating from high school, and it's Love Like the Galaxy. You will notice a lot of Leo Wu shows. I'm literally watching The Long Ballad right now. So I rated the Love Like the Galaxy a 9 out of 10. I rated the part 1 a 10 out of 10 and the part 2 an 8 out of 10. So on average it's a 9. What I liked about it, I loved Chung Xiaosheng. She was the female lead and I loved her so much because she has such a unique personality and her hobbies were really unique. Like anytime I watch C-dramas, they will always be like, oh yeah, the female lead, she loves embroidery, or like she loves drawing or painting, or like, oh, she loves sword fighting. Like if they're like, oh yeah, she's a baddie, they'll be like, oh yeah, she likes playing with swords, or she likes archery or something. But she liked architecture and carpentry. Like I thought that was so unique. Like tell me why I suddenly became interested in it. I don't know, like I'm easily influenced, okay? So but she really liked like architecture and carpentry, and it's not like, oh yeah, she was just interested in it, like she just read a few books about it and that was it. Like no, she was interested in it. Like she would use it to build swings, or she would use it to cause trouble. Like she was really into it. And tell me why, even when she was building when she was trying to move to her marital home, she was gonna build it. I'm so sorry, but she ate that up. Like, because imagine the dude being like, hey, I'm gonna build a house, draw the plan. And she's like, you bet. She, honestly, I love her. I love her so much. I also like Ling Bui. He had that provider mindset. Yeah, like he was, I loved him, but one thing I also liked about him was that he was like, he had that provider mindset and he was like really caring, but in the most funny and awkward ways. Like my favorite scene in the entire show was when after he proposed to her, he was like, oh, I really want to take care of y'all. I want y'all to be healthy and safe. And so we're going to start working out. Had the entire household in the courtyard lifting stones at 7 a.m. in the morning. And after working out for hours, they were like, let's take a cold drink to, you know, refresh. And he was like, actually, cold drinks are not healthy. And he brought them hot tea. Oh my god, that would have been my last straw. Actually, no, that was Chen Xiaosheng's last straw because the next day she like crashed out. I don't blame her, but it was just so funny. I also really like their chemistry. Like the two of them were like this. Like I swear to God, like Wu Lei has like chemistry with everybody. I don't know what was going on, but it was amazing. I love the show so much. I think one thing I also liked about the drama was like the relationship between all like the noble families. I loved that it was giving Bridgerton. Like every time they would have like an event, all the noble families and also like the royalty, they would like come together and there was just like backbiting and gossiping and rumors and like, oh my god, it was giving Lady Whistledown without the papers. Like I loved every minute of it. Like I don't think I've ever watched a historical drama where there was like this much backbiting in like the noble families. Like I've watched Three of Yanxi Palace, Rui's Royal Love, Legend of Jahuan. Like I know like that harem drama, but anyway, my phone died. But like as I was saying, I understand like those like regular harem dramas, but I just have never like seen it for like members of the noble family. So I was really curious about it. I also really liked the costuming and I also like Chang Xiaoshang's relationship with her mother. It wasn't a good relationship. It was actually really estranged, but I thought it was really realistic and it low-key hit home. But that was like one of the reasons why I really liked it. So for what I disliked, I did not like the communication between the leads. These people could not talk to each other. Like every time they met up, let's just say there wasn't a lot of talking. Like they would just do a little bit of like lovey-dovey stuff and it would always cause issues. Like the fact that like Chang Xiaoshang was so mad at him, or no, she wasn't mad at him. She gave him a chance. She said, tell me the truth. Like whatever thing you're hiding, just tell me because we're getting married in 2 days. We're gonna be together forever. Just tell me if you're hiding something so I can know. And he was like, I'm not hiding anything. And then he killed his father that night. What? He was like, actually, yeah, my real name is not Ling Bui. My real name is Ho Wushang. My uncle that died is actually my dad. And my dad that I just killed is actually my uncle. Because my uncle killed my uncle dad or something. And I was like, what is going on? What is going on? And the thing is, even with all that, she was even like rescued him because obviously the entire like capital wants his head because he killed his dad, a big like part of the court, and she still saved him. And he was like, no, don't save me. I don't want to be saved. What can you say? Xiao Sheng wasn't better. She also didn't communicate with him as well because like I remember this one time where she had like a whole crash out because she was drinking after he made them do the whole workout thing, and then like he was like, oh, she likes drinking a lot, here's like a healthier wine that's better for you. And she was like, no, like you're restricting me, you're controlling me. Like the only reason why I'm getting married is to leave my restrictive mother and you're still restricting me. Like you could have communicated that. Like I understand her 100%, but she could have definitely been like, hey, like this is not working. But she was just crashing out for real. Like they just didn't communicate and it caused a lot of issues. After the whole like goose city issue, when they finally resolved who killed who killed who was who, I thought the show was about to end. We still had a few more episodes. I was like, what are they gonna do for those episodes? Then we had a 5-year time leap. I didn't mind. I don't mind time leaps. My issue was every single villain that we had throughout the show started coming back. There used to be so many villains in the show, but like they would just like sometimes leave for random reasons. Like I remember some of the reasons would be like, oh yeah, they moved, or oh she got married, or like oh she became a nun. My favorite character became a nun. You know what? It's fine. So there were just like so many things. So they all came back randomly at like 5 years later to get revenge, which is fine. You know, they did you wrong. They did you wrong. Get your revenge. Why did they all plot revenge at the same time 5 years later? Like the leads could not catch a break. The leads could not catch a break at all those last few episodes. So it was just really insane and just like chaotic. And like I also didn't like how okay fine, like this other girl that we all forgot about, she came back to get revenge, but Princess Yun Chang did it. Princess Yun Chang was literally my favorite villain. Like she was literally leading the Ling Buyi fan club. And when she found out that she couldn't get married to him because he was getting married to Cheng Xiaoshang, she was so pissed. Like she was literally crashing out. She was freaking out. And then her granddad was like, you know what? There's nothing you can do to stop him. He's gonna marry Cheng Xiaoshang. If you don't like that, become a nun. And what did she do? she became a nun.
My Shayla.
Like, I was so convinced that if there was gonna be one villain that was gonna come back and take revenge, it would be Yun Chang, but she didn't, and I was so shocked. Like, if y'all were gonna bring people back, you should have brought back the It Girls. Like, I was really disappointed with that. I feel like her ending was too rushed, and also I didn't like how there was no wedding scene. Like, the whole premise of the show was that they wanted to get married. Like, engagements were canceled 5 times. We had a 5-year time leap, and now they were like, okay, fine, we've learned our mistakes, let's get married. And then they looked up to the stars and the show ended. Why would you do that? Like, why would you do that? I was so pissed, but then again, like, it's fine. Like, you know what? I can just imagine the wedding in my head, but it's fine. But yeah, that's Love Like the Galaxy. I will definitely rewatch it in the future because the show was so funny. I would definitely rewatch the first part. The second part, not so much, because there was just so much going on. I didn't really like it as much, but it was still really good. Solid 9 out of 10. I would 100% recommend it. My third favorite drama this year was Blossom. Honestly, the girlies love the show, and so did I. I rated the show a 9.5 out of 10, and what I loved about it the most was Songwoo's character, and also Do Jao's. Like, their chemistry was just off the charts. Like, the relationship was so healthy. They were always communicating. When they always had plans, even when they were like never involved in the plan. Like, if Doja has a plan and someone was not gonna be in it, she's still gonna be like, hey, this is what's gonna happen. So like, just to give you a heads up, and he would be like, okay, bet, like I'm gonna keep that in mind. And anytime someone had plans, he would always be like, hey, Doja, this is what's going on. And she'd be like, oh, okay, that's good. They always communicated. Do you know the jump, how it was going from Blossom, where they always talked about everything with each other, and then watching Love Like the Galaxy right after, where they never talked about anything? It was a big adjustment. Like, it was a big adjustment, but I loved Blossom. They just had such cute chemistry. Like, Sungwoo was so whipped for Dojao. He had that provider mindset. Yeah, he was just everything. Like, I don't know, like, I really liked them. I also loved the drama in Dojao's family. Like, that is so insane. Like, this man, you just brought a random woman. No, actually, you decided to marry your wife's best friend, and then because of that, your wife tried to off herself, and you still married the best friend. Honestly, Do Jao's father deserved jail time. I don't know why they were like, no, like, he changed. No, you didn't change. I see right through you. Yeah, but I also loved Sungwoo's white hair. The white hair was like only the first episode, but like that was something. I loved it. I don't know. I also loved how, like, Dojao, she learned from her previous life. She was like, I need a business to protect myself because I need money, and she did it. Like, I love that for her. Like I said, I'm not really into like the whole business thing. Like, there was this whole issue they had in this one city called Futing, and it was like about business. I thought that part was so boring, but you know, I'm all for a businesswoman. Like, I'm all for entrepreneurship. Would I do it? No, but like, I'm here for it. Financial security. Yeah. What I didn't like about the show, I didn't like that it was basically almost useless for Dojao to like come back from her previous life. Like, I thought this was gonna be some juicy revenge. Like, y'all know I love a revenge plot. I thought it was gonna be some like really juicy revenge, that she was gonna come back and she was gonna take revenge off her sister and her ex-husband and everything. But anytime she did something that would like help her because she learned from her previous life, it would always like alter the course of the future. So because of something that she did, her sister ended up not being raised by her mother and ended up being a good person. So when she did die, I couldn't feel bad because she was a good person, but she was a bad person in episode 1. And I was just, no, like, it just made the whole thing so complicated. Even Changjia was like one of the people that literally ambushed them in episode 1, like the reason why they died in the first life, and nothing happened like to him in the second life. He was just a good person. Why was he a good person? I don't know. Even ended up marrying her best friend. I was like, I don't know what's going on, but it was fine. Like, it was just something that just kind of ticked me off a little bit. That's why I give it a 9.5 out of 10 and not a 10. But I love Blossom. Like, it was so good. It was so good. My second favorite C-drama this year was Love Game and Eastern Fantasy. I made a TikTok about this, and everyone like agreed with me because the ending of the show was so amazing. Like, I love the ending. That was honestly my favorite part of the show. But apart from the ending though, what I liked was the OST. I like the OST. Everyone that I know liked the OST, and I'm still waiting for them to drop Curly Gao's OST on Spotify. I love the OST. I love the chemistry between Yamya and Zachi, which is so insane because like I actually never liked Ding Yushi's acting. Like I watched him in Romance Between Tiger and Rose, and I only watched the first few episodes and I stopped it because I didn't like his acting. But you know, he grew in the past 4 years and he amazing. Like I even love their chemistry in real life. Like in real life they're so close, and I just love that because that's probably what made the show even better. I also love like the storylines that they made for like each of the demons. It was so well thought out. Like my favorite storyline was the one about the phantom that basically like brought the whole village back to life. That was like my favorite personally because like it was so like well thought out. I also love Sway Sway. Like Sway Sway was so cute. He was adorable, and I also love how fast-paced the show was, and I also like the concept of the show being a game. Like I said, I loved the ending. Oh my god! Basically, the entire story was like a love letter to his crush, and he felt like the world was so unfair that no matter how you change the ending, the world will always end. But like, his girl will always survive. But like, did he think about her being lonely or something? Honestly, I don't like to think too in detail, but I still like the ending. Like it was cute. Like, oh yeah, this is a love letter to you. Loved it. What I disliked about this show, honestly, nothing. I just need a spin-off of this show, honestly, because I can't get enough personally. My favorite C-drama of the year is Hidden Love. I should have gotten on the hype last year, or technically it's not even, it's 2025, so I should have gotten on the hype 2023. But I don't watch modern C-dramas. I only watch historical usually, so I was like, I don't think it's gonna be good. But I ended up really liking it. I love that it was fast-paced, and the chemistry between Dwon Jiashu and Sanjir was amazing. Like it was so good. I'm so sorry people were kind of iffed by the age gap. It wasn't even that bad, and like it was just amazing. It was amazing. I also really like the cinematography and the aesthetic. Like I remember like even recreating some of like Sanjir's outfits because they were so cute. And Jiashu's provider mindset, oh my god, that one scene where Sanjir was like, oh, you know I spend a lot of money, and he was like, can you spend it as fast as I make? Oh my god, can you know what let's hold that in. Let's hold that in. But I really like the show. Like I'm currently rewatching it. I'm on episode 18, so I'm almost done. It's just such a good show. Like honestly, amazing. What I didn't really like about the show was Jiang Ying. Not necessarily because she was a bad person. Like, no, she was a bad person. What I did, it's not like it was like a, oh, I don't like that they added her. I love that they added her. But she just pissed me off. Like, she needed therapy so bad. Like, she needed therapy. So, I hope she gets it. Shit. But the show was a 10 out of 10. I loved it. So, yeah, those are my top 5 C-dramas. And now I'm just going to be talking about my honorable mentions because, like, there are just some that didn't really fit here or there. There's also one show that I watched this year. I watched it on New Year's and I finished it on the 6th, so I'm going to talk about it. And it's so fitting because we have a snowstorm right now, so guess what show I'm going to talk about? Obviously there's a snowstorm, so I'm going to talk about Amidst the Snowstorm of Love. I gave it a 9.5 out of 10, even though I technically watched it in 2025, but I'm still gonna add it because it was a 2024 show and I really want to talk about it. It's so good. Like I really liked the chemistry between them. It was so, oh my god. And then Lin Yang, he had that provider mindset. Oh my god. When he gave Yinghua his like first reward money, I said, sir, you ate this up. I don't know, you ate this up. And they had so many cute scenes together. Like we were so well fed. Like we were so, the editing community for that like fandom, they will never run out of edits because there was just so much content. Oh my god. And it was just 30 episodes. I don't know how they did it. I don't know how they did it because I literally watched shows with longer episodes and they did not even have nearly as much cute scenes. So, The Rise of Phoenix is one of my favorite shows ever with my favorite like characters. It was not a romance show mostly, but still they were so cute together. We can't even do an editing, we can't make an edit if we wanted to because they don't have enough like cute scenes. But in this one we were well fed, bro. Like I loved it. I just didn't like how Yinghua's character was really one-dimensional. Like her relationship with billiards was just so surface level. Like there's no way, you've been playing billiards since you were a kid, your cousin was really strict on you, your mom is like the president of the entire billiards association of China, you were like the ranking 3rd in the world, like you're also 21. Like there's like this certain pressure that you would usually get, but she never had that pressure. Like I don't know, it was just really weird. Like she would just go to like the billiards club or whatever. Phone died again. But like as I was saying, like she would just go to like the billiards club for 30 minutes, and then when she was done, she would like go on dates with Lenny Yang. Like I'm not against dates or anything, but then she would just go on and win the world championship. Okay, like her, it was just very one-dimensional, and it was even weirder because like she just didn't really show this like really love for the sport, but she also didn't hate it either. It was just like, oh, okay, I play, I get my money, I leave, I play, I get my money, I leave. And then the only interesting thing about her was that she could play in any circumstance, and I was like, okay, yeah, that's cool, but like, what else? And that's why it was so funny when Lin Yang was kind of like, oh, like you're the one who encouraged me to play. Like I retired a few years ago, but like you really encouraged me to come back into that game. And I was like, she did? Oh, it's just like really funny because I was like, oh, I guess she did, but whatever. Also, one thing I didn't like was Jiang Yang and Mo Xiaodong's like relationship storylines. Like, yeah, I get it, they're the supporting roles, but like if you were gonna introduce a love story, go through with it. Lin Lin was basically listed as the main role because she was like the love interest of Meng Xiaodiang, but like they never had any like conversations past like, oh, did you find a new boyfriend? She would be like, no, are you jealous? And that was it. They didn't even end up together. And Jiang Yang was even worse because like they kept telling us that he was going on blind dates, he was going on blind dates, he was going on blind dates, and we never saw the girl. And then at the end of the show, he popped out with a kid. But the show was a 9.5 out of 10. Like, I loved it. I would definitely watch it again. My second honorable mention was The Legend of Shen Li. It was an 8.5 out of 10. The show was so good. Like, the OST was amazing. Oh my god, they spent so much budget on the OST. They forgot about the cinematography and the CGI. The songs were good. Like, Curly Gao and Jess Lee's song was were my favorite. And like, the intro song was also amazing. I also really like the chemistry between the leads. I think it's because they also acted in Princess Agents as well. So like, their chemistry was off the charts. I also liked how Miss Girl was independent. Shen Li was independent from the beginning. She was a badass. And Shinju was so sassy. I loved him. He was so girl boss, I can't even lie. But he was so sassy. But he also really liked to protect the female lead. But he was more like, okay, like she has like a responsibility. Like she has a title. I think she was like the Azure Lord something. I can't remember. But he knew that she had like responsibilities. And he respected that. He was like, girl, go do what you gotta do. I'm not gonna stop you. Love that. What I didn't like the world building. It was so confusing. It's like, okay, fine, we have the immortals, then we have like these extra divine gods, but then we also have the spirits and then the demons, and then it was confusing. I was confused. I also didn't like the low budget CGI. Like if the show had a slightly more budget, it would have been way better. I also did not like the amount of episodes. Like the middle was kind of draggy, but I feel like there's a reason why Shansha shows typically have 50+ episodes. Like you cannot really do a really good Shansha show in 49 episodes. That's why I didn't even bother to watch the sequel to Asian Love Poetry, because I was like, there's no way we're gonna do this shit in 40 episodes. So I didn't like that. But apart from that, it was good. It was an 8.5. Whatever you watch it, I don't think so, but the songs are on repeat. Like they're on repeat. They're on my Spotify rap this year. Curly Gao, I love you, I love you. And that wraps up my 2024 C-drama wrapped, I guess. I will be posting one for a K-drama. I will be posting the K-drama version soon, I hope. But we'll see if I can even edit this video. But I will be posting this K-drama one soon. The K-drama one is going to be way more in-depth because I watch way more K-dramas this year than C-dramas, so I'm actually really excited for that. And thank you so much for tuning into episode 1 of Jenny Yaps. Please stay for more because I love yapping. Yeah, so